Okay, hi, good morning, Ms. Sharon. So our team will be presenting about proposal for MUET preparatory course. So our team consisted of 3 people, me, Muhammad Hakimi, and Abdul Aziz, and also Santia Ravi. So next, now the introduction will be presented by Santia Ravi.
Thanks, Hakimi. So for the introduction, we three of the students, we conduct a MUET preparatory course at MSc College for the students who wish to continue their bachelor studies at MSU. So during this program, we pick the participant as a STPM matriculation and also mainly for the MSc student. So what is MUET is all about and what is preparatory course is needed for this student. So MUET is a Malaysian University English examination which could be test of English language ability mainly and used for university student in Malaysia. This examination is about the Malaysian ability of testing the 4 skills for the students. So while this preparatory course is needed for the students, the main aim why the student and a member have to join this preparatory course, which we conducted in this MSU is, this course is authorized via English skill, is example like a speaking, listening, reading, and also writing skills. So like moreover, student need to arrange the ability before they sit to their MUET exam. So we arrange the participant from STPM matriculation and also from the MSc student. We pick as a participant who are gonna sit to the MUET examination. So who are gonna sit for the MUET examination and also who want to continue their further studies in MSU or any universities. So not the person, but also the unit. Also the student should join this program to recover their language skills of a student to determine the entry position of the bachelor degrees level for the public and also the any local universities. So I give next part to Aziz.
Okay, hi, good morning. Okay, I will tell the basic information. So in basic information, there are a few components that need to be highlighted by the student or the examiner. So for the first thing is the date. So for this MUET, we will planning to do it on 17 May 2021. And for the time, it will start at 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. So the venue is room 202, which is in MSU itself. So the basic information is prepared by us, and the proper proposal itself is prepared by us, which is me, Abdul Aziz, Santia Ravi, and Muhammad Hakimi. So the participants that we have been highlighted or being chosen is from STPM candidates, matriculation student, diploma, and pre-university student. So if you guys can see here, there will be a preparatory program tentative. So as we all can see, the tentative will show how we construct or conduct the day of the MUET examination. So as we all can see, on 17 May 2021, Monday, at 8 a.m., registration for the program in MSU. And then after registration at 8:30 a.m., slot 1, which is writing test course. And then after 1 hour, on 9:30 a.m., there will be break for breakfast. And we will continue again at 10 a.m., slot 2, which is speaking test courses. After an hour, slot 3 will be continuing, which is writing and speaking test. After they're done, at 11:30 a.m., slot 4 will be conducted, which is listening test courses. After an hour, at 12:30 p.m., there will be break for lunch. And at 1 p.m., which is slot 5, there will be reading test courses. After an hour, at 2 p.m., disperse, which is all the session is done. So for Synopsis, I will pass it to Hakimi.
Thank you, Aziz. Okay. So for the synopsis of the course, the course is entitled as MUET Preparatory Course, as MUET will be held for 3 times a year in March, July, and October. So in order to help students to achieve higher band, we created a course, a complete course for the students to enhance their skills in answering all the question in paper. So as basic information for the MUET, the listening and speaking test will be 30 minutes respectively. For listening, 30 minutes, and for speaking, 50 minutes. And also reading and writing have the same times, that is 90 minutes. So the MUET preparatory course will be focusing on giving guidance to the student in order to answer all the question in the paper. Usually, the student that will be taking MUET is taking for another what we call certificate, like Sintu Tinggi Pelajaran Malaysia and also pre-university or diploma, in order to achieve higher education level. So in the course, the student will be updated with a new format for the paper. And then in the course, we will be providing facilitator that will be helping all the students if they don't understand, or and the facilitator will also give tips and how to answer all the question properly and correctly. Okay, so for the learning objective of this course is, the first one is to boost the development of student in MUET. As we all know, there are 2 types of student that will be taking MUET. The first one is in the institution, and the second one is personally. So if the institution providing times and period for the student to learn MUET, then the student can boost the development on how they answer the paper. For the individual person that will be taking MUET, they can they can register in this course, and then they will develop knowledge for answering MUET. The second one, it will be strengthen student current knowledge in MUET. As we all know that we all know English, but we don't know how to to answer the paper correctly. So this course will help the student to strengthen the current knowledge. The last one is give opportunity for students to express opinion and ideas. In this, only in this course, they will be exposed to the way on speaking and do the speaking test correctly. So from this, they will benefit the self-confidence boost and giving them the expressing opinion and ideas. Okay. The content will be explained by all of us.
For the content, topic, and activity, the listening skill explained by me. For the first topic, which I chose for the listening skill is activity is a batik and craft, which is the topic and activity is all about the traditional of a batik and craft. And then the worksheet and also the test paper will be given with the questions, and the audio also will be given of the batik and craft. So students have to listen to the batik craft audio, and then they have to answer for the space given. So the paper format is a 3-part, and also the question is given as a 20 questions, and also a type of question is a information transfer, which is for listening. We need to hear, and then we need to apply what we hear, and then also a short answer. For the listening will be applied for the short answer questions. Okay, for the listening skill is a test for the student which have to practice selective listening, and also not every word said is important and relevant. And then the student have to write down the notes as the speaker talks, and then all the audio is running. So if a student can't hear the recording clearly, they have to raise up their hand, and also they have to inform the person in charge to increase the volume of the recording. So moreover, on the various type of questions, to familiar with the terms and spelling of various words, and also use a good terms in also a grammar test. So some section of the word limits, so student have to avoid using a lot of many and or that in when they write for the listening skill test. Okay, for the guidelines for this listening test, there are few strategic for the student where they can use for the listening test. Okay, for the first is let student to listen to the way 2 or 3 times for the audio first, and then they need to student need to emphasis on the hearing sense, and also let the um, listen what the audio is going on. So the guidelines in the preparatory course which we conducted in the MSU is the preparatory program. The examiners will lead the student on how understand varied kind of spoken text or and the variable distance. So the student will be master this similar level of the difficulty in the term of the language, and then they able to learn the difference between the applicant from the immaterial, which is the filter out irrelevant information. So when the audio is going on, they will given or maybe the read the whole passage. So student have to be classify or filter the information which they need to fill up in the blanks. So they need to filter irrelevant information. They cannot note down all the information which the audio speaking. And also they need to understand the speaker's view, and also the attitude and the meaning, which is the if the speaker or the audio is running about the bate and the craft, they need to um, listen very clearly what they saying each and every word. And then for moving on to the benefit, what's the benefit from this preparatory course which we conducted for the listening course is there's a few assistant by taking weight listening preparatory program. First is develop a better hearer. When the student focus on the physical obtainable in the college, they will able to classify not only the word used by the audio, but then their stress and also very minimalized meaning. They able to understand the meaning and also the stress when they keeping on practicing in the preparatory course, keeping on practicing for the listening skill, and also when they hear the audio. And also student will take a better notes and they will be more precisely remember the teacher's right information and also conclusion. Many times teacher give a verbal signal about the information insignificant, specific prospect about the project, and also even the material is likely to be an exam. So from this preparatory course, student able to understand like more their practice themselves on the taking notes, and also becoming a very good hearer, hearing the particular meaning, particular words, and the particular notes which they need to take note and filling the blanks. And also, this listening preparatory course will be a more helpful for their careful listening. Yeah, thank you. Next is
Okay, I will explain about the next content, which is speaking skill. So for the speaking skill, the name of the topic is individual and group discussion. So for example, like individual and group discussion is two different tasks. For the first task is individual. So after they are entering the examination hall or room, there will be 4 people, which is in a same group, but 4 different person. So the first task is individual. They will be given a point or an information to their defend and elaborate the point itself. So the time given for individual task is more than 20 minutes. So there will be discussion and debating and among themselves or explaining about their own point. So for the second task is group discussion, which is the second task. They need to discuss among them all, which is which point is better and suitable to be used in any type of knowledge. So for example, like they are using how internet supposed to be lead the future way, or which gadget is better to use in learning. So for example, like the first person was given the smartphone, and the second one is notebook, and the third one is laptop, and the fourth one is more like face-to-face learning. So they will debating which is among themselves which point are better for the second task. Okay, for the guideline for speaking skill, student will encourage the to discuss our topic, because during the second task, they will be more confident in themselves in defending their own point in order to gain a lot of points. So the guideline also, the main point is the student need to talk and cannot stop in the middle of the discussion. So the more they talk or speak, they will gain a lot of points. So the second guideline is they are asked to think critically as exercise. So for example, they're using their own knowledge based on reading or any type of learning. They will be forced themselves to think critically during the elaboration. So they need to force themselves to think out of the box or how to defend their point. So the third guideline is normalize the student with quick explanation on the topic. So the student will be like get used to normalize the quick explanation on the topic, which is they will not be told before the examination about the topic. So they need to be prepared with any type of knowledge, any type of information before entering the hall of examination. So it will help the student to speak more frequently and more effectively, like gaining a lot of knowledge by reading, learning, and exercise any type of information. So the benefit of the speaking skills, the first one is enhance English proficiency and self-confidence. Like we all know, like before, in the learning outcome or learning objective, English, the student can increase their self-confidence, and at the same time, will increase their English proficiency in speaking English more influently. So the second one is increase critical thinking skill. Like I said before in the guideline, the student will be forced to use critical thinking skill to gain a lot of information and points during the discussion or the individual task. Okay, that's all for speaking skill. Moving on the next content.
Okay, so for the reading skill, the activity is skimming and scanning. So the reading skill is the reading test or skill assess on the service and information where the students are used to read from the early age until they taking the MWET examination. So there are two ways to for the activity where it is skimming and scanning. So the first one, skimming. Skimming is reading not so precisely, but still taking important information firstly. And scanning is scanning full information of the text. So the two ways will be introduced to the student, so they will use them to answer the paper. So it will get the student the right way of gaining information. As I said, skimming and scanning, both of them are important to take information for the answer and provide student with interpretation skill. So in WET, the test is not only transferring information from the readings from the text, but the test is including the interpretation skill of student. So we will be normalizing the interpretation for the student with exercise and with guideline from us to so they are used with interpreting information. So student will be provided with many example from magazine or article that will be useful and are common that are usually uh, in the provided in the question. So the benefit of this activity is it can student can get used to question pattern where with from this they can get ready for themselves to answer all of the question. So the second one, yes, this they can score the test as this is one of the technique that can increase their mark easily. Okay, so the next skill is writing skill, where the activity is writing structure. Okay, so in MWET, there are two questions that the student need to answer in writing skill test. So the first one is the report writing, and the second one is essay writing. So written web tests are mostly for evaluating knowledge-based learning outcomes. So the tests usually are open-ended, and it's require answer from variety of justification. So the writing skill, we will teach them how to transferring information, where the student from needed to get information from the message and from the report, from the what we say stimuli, and then they will be writing the report. So it will from this we will teach the student some tips that can be used in the answering the question. The student will be used with correct grammar, and the student will follow answer format where we will provide the student with an easy guideline for them to follow so they can score in the paper. So the benefit is to help students elaborate precisely, where from this they will get many justification and relevance for them to use in the paper. And then the student will be encouraged to write a decent justification, as I've said before, and it will stimulate the student with correct sentence structure, where from the plenty of exercise they will be used to write using a correct sentence structure. Okay, so the next is material that will be presented by Aziz.
Okay, for material, I will hand it over to each type of explanation about their skill. So for the first one is writing skill. I will give it to Hakimi.
Okay, so for writing skill, the material needed is question that are constructed from past year paper. So we will gather, our team will gathering past year question, and we will construct and give the question to the student so they are used with exercise and can answer the paper correctly. And then we will be using a whiteboard and marker pen so it can show the participants some example and the correct answer and some explanation for the whiteboard the whiteboard and marker pen also can help the student to express their opinions in front of the class. So it will increase the students' confidence from this activity. Okay. The next one is the reading skill. For reading skill, we use the same way with writing skill, where the past year question are gathered and we will be reconstructing the question. So the student will be exposed to various type of text, so they are used with English language, thus improving their English proficiency. And whiteboard and marker pen to write down all the information, or the student can use both teachers and student can use to explaining their opinion and ideas. Okay, next.
Okay, for the third material, which is for speaking skill, I will explain about the material used. So for speaking skill, the first material that I use or we use is A4 paper, and the second one is whiteboard and marker pen, and the third one is question recreate from the past year question. So for the first item that I will show or discuss is about past year question. We will use the past year question to be a guideline in order to reconstruct or recreate a new question from it. So past year question is the main material that we use for this skill. So, and the second one is A4 paper. A4 paper will be prepared by us to provide the student or participant during the examination by giving them each A4 paper, blank A4 paper to them to write down their points. For the equipment, they are already be told to bring their own stuff, which is the pen, the pencil, the eraser, and everything else, the stationery. So the third item is whiteboard and marker pen. We use the whiteboard and marker pen as the guideline, or not a guideline, but more like showing the rules and terms of taking speaking skill. So as we all can see, whiteboard is a medium that we use to write down, and the marker pen is the medium that we use to write down the points and enroll in the whiteboard. So we all know that marker pen is the medium to write down the rules and example how to elaborate and how to gain it a lot of points from it. So the next material will be passed on Santia.
Thanks, Aziz. For the material for the listening skill is an audio speaker. Okay, we were using a speaker for audio that will be used during the preparatory because it will be listened through it all it will be listened through it by all the students. So audio speaker will be prepared by our conductor and also laptop projector and also mute listening test assessment papers. For the audio, we will place it one place and also we will connect it to the laptop and also projector. So when the students on the preparatory course, we will give a listening assessment paper at first. And then we will play the audio speaker with the projector and also laptop. So when the audio is running, student will listen and also they will answer using the listening assessment paper. And also laptop and projector is why because once they done with the assessment paper, laptop and a projector, we will teach them how to do the listening skills and the way to answer the questions, and then the correction which can do by the MUET examiners or the profession experts. So we will use the laptop and projector to explain them each and every single thing by we can improvise themselves for the listening skills. And also MUET listening assessment paper we will give one by another after the explanation to improvise themselves and also to practice themselves on a listening skills with the audio speaker. So this can be like need to do for the student during the MUET course for the listening skills. So this will be helpful for their real MUET section for the listening skill test. So moving on to the assessment, which Aziz will explain.
Okay, thank you, Santia. I will explain about the assessment. So the assessment is about the student evaluation is crucial to assess the English proficiency quality. So assessment part is more like how we evaluate the student based on the 4 skill given. So for the first skill, which is writing, student need to construct essay and report based on the topic given. Evaluation based on the ability of using the information and providing an accurate report. So, which the student can write a better report and essay, can gain a lot of marks and point during the examination. So, the student need to write down a solid and a facts meaning or points in order to make sure the essay and report gain a lot of marks or score during examination. So for the second skill, which is speaking, the student will face individual and group tasks where the evaluation is recorded on the ideas and elaboration also on the confidence of the students. So for the speaking skill, which is the 2 different tasks, which is individual and group discussion, during the individual, we can see and evaluate the student based on how they elaborate their own point. And for the group discussion, we can see how they communicate with each other and confidently about their own point and defending which point are better to make sure they can speak and communicate better with each other. So for the third one is the third skill is listening. Spoken text will be played on audio speaker and the student have to take decisive information from the audio. The closest answer will gain decent mark. So as we all can see, there will be listen to an audio during the examination. They will be played 3 times, and the first one is they will need to listen carefully, and the second one is write down the information, and the third one will be confirming the answer. We will be evaluate the student on how they answer the question in order to make them can gain a lot of marks and score and decent mark during the examination. So listening is more like improving their listening skill, and we can evaluate based on how they answer the question. And the last one is reading skill. The reading skill is the evaluation happen for the decency level of language as the skill requirement. One, to interpret information from text. So reading is more like how they use the activity before, which is skimming and scanning. We will evaluate on how they find the points, find their own example during the examination. So the higher level of decency language, the higher mark they will get, because the reading skill is all about how they can manage and read the points or information given and use it as a point in the examination. So moving on to the conclusion, I will pass it to others.
Okay, so for the conclusion, the course is suitable for students that striving for complete preparation format, as this course this course will be the quality of the information of this course will be updated from one session to another, because as we all know, the format will be changed over the year. So in order to keep control of the quality, we will be updating the new format as the years goes by. Okay, so the worldwide competitor, as we want to produce a high quality student for the contribution to the country and the world. Okay, so the course should be supported by administrator, although they have provided a specific period for the student to learn more, but this course can help them to achieve higher, as we will introduce some tips and right technique that we gain from experienced teacher for this course. Okay, not only that, the fun and interactive way of learning will make them feel at ease with the course. The mindset of English is an impossible subject need to be destroyed, as we all of us has the ability to learn language. So with a fun and interactive way that we will introduce to the student, we hope that the subject, the ideal subject, will be annihilated. Okay, so this course also can help moderate level student to achieve higher, as they will following the right technique, so they can answer the paper correctly. Okay, all from us.
Thank you.
Thank you.